By the end of the day today, I'm gonna be broke as shit.
Fans are expressing concerns for Colleen Hoover after the It Ends With Us author posted a distressed video on Instagram. Sipping on a diet.
Hoover is back on Instagram, but she's removed all traces of Blake Lively. Also, Hollywood, can we stop this narrative that both of them are marching towards mutually assured destruction? One of them's just trying to defend.
Lee is in the news as a source says she never intended to sue. Why they're saying she did what she did and why it is very sinister and why it backfired. Also, like I said, Colleen Hoover is back and she has deleted.
Author Colleen Hoover, whose novel It Ends With Us was turned into the much talked about movie starring Justin Baldoni and novice film editor Blake Lively, is breaking her silence.
Blake Lively, long hailed as Hollywood's golden girl and a true style icon, has won over fans with her charm, wit, and effortless screen presence. So when news broke that she would star in the film adaptation of Colleen Hoover's best-selling novel It Ends With Us, it seemed like a perfect match between a beloved actress and a hugely popular author. But what should have been a dream collaboration has reportedly been clouded by controversy. Online chatter and speculative reports point to creative clashes, differing visions, and behind-the-scenes tension. Now fans are left wondering, what's really happening behind closed doors?
Hoover is back. She's not retired, and she scraped all posts, mentions, photos of Blake Lively. The whole thing's gone. What does that mean? Colleen Hoover, she said she was retiring, or that was the rumors. She deactivated the account after defending Blake very loudly. And now all that support, all mentions are gone. Now, to be fair, no mentions of Justin either, but I don't think there were a lot on this either. As we've gone through, this Redditor put together some good numbers, some data for us to actually look at. She now has 5,697 posts. She previously had 5,665 posts. So that means she deleted 32 posts. Also, she had 2,975 account followers before. Now she has 2,964, meaning she unfollowed 11 accounts. Now, 11 people could have blocked her, I suppose. Not incredibly easy to tell, but a lot of people are noticing that Blake is not following her anymore. And so a lot of theories as to what's happening.
Is Colleen Hoover okay? Have you guys seen her latest stories? Seems like she's a bit off. I got so many messages of people telling me to go to her story, so let's watch this together.
Be either a new rock bottom for me or the best thing that's ever come out of my brain.
When the film adaptation of It Ends With Us was first announced, fans were ecstatic. Colleen Hoover's novel had already developed a devoted following thanks to its raw, emotional portrayal of trauma, domestic abuse, and resilience. The story struck a powerful chord with readers, many of whom connected with its message on a deeply personal level, often sharing their own experiences in response.
If you don't know, Colleen Hoover was friends with Justin Baldoni for years. He reached out to her, wooed her, expressed his love and admiration for her writing, and really sold her on the story that he wanted to tell as director before the plantation princess extorted him and took over all control of the movie. Submitted in the amended lawsuit against Taylor Swift's bestie are all these email communications between Baldoni and Hoover. And despite their long history together, Colleen Hoover repeatedly turned her back on Justin Baldoni, as well as publicly praising the wife of Scarlett Johansson's ex-husband. Even before the release of It Ends With Us, the author distanced herself from Baldoni. Instead of promoting the film with him, she joined the promo trail repeatedly with her. Only at the very beginning did she have an event with Justin Baldoni. But after that, right up until the film's release, it was all about Colleen and Blake, Colleen and Blake.
The It Ends With Us legal battle between Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni keeps on escalating. Blake's team is on the hunt for receipts and has filed a subpoena seeking every single one of Justin's phone calls, text messages, data logs, and real-time location information over the past 2.5 years. Her attorneys tell ET they will, quote, expose the people, tactics, and methods that have worked to destroy and bury her reputation.
Yeah, it's pretty common. Usually one side will ask for whatever they can, but there will be pushback. and those requests typically get limited or restricted in some.
Blake Lively was cast as Lily Bloom, the story's protagonist, and also signed on as a producer for the film. At first, it seemed like an ideal fit. Her involvement hinted at a genuine passion for the project. With her track record of blending grace, charisma, and emotional depth, many felt she was the perfect choice for the role.
On social media, she tagged her on the I to the G and wrote, @Blake Lively, you have been nothing but honest, kind, supportive, and patient since the day we met. Thank you for being exactly the human that you are. Never change, never wilt. This woman is a professional. She knows the importance of words like I do. Starting her statement to the Woody Allen apologist with, "You have been nothing but honest," more than implies that Justin Baldoni has been dishonest.
However, as pre-production moved forward, rumors started to circulate. Speculative reports suggested there were creative disagreements between Colleen Hoover and the production team. Some fans pointed to cryptic posts on Colleen's social media that appeared to hint at underlying frustrations, although nothing was ever directly confirmed.
I just found this clip of something Colleen Hoover said about Justin Baldoni at Book Bonanza.
You know, when Justin said he wanted to play Ryle, I was on board for that. I thought that he kind of was what I envisioned when I wrote the book.
But if you have looked at Justin Baldoni's lawsuit and timeline, then you would know that Colleen Hoover was the one who suggested he play Ryle. Justin Baldoni provided several emails sent between him and Colleen Hoover ahead of turning It Ends With Us into a movie. Justin reached out to Colleen Hoover with the idea of optioning the book into a movie under his production company, Wayfarer Studios. And he never mentioned acting in the film until Colleen suggested it. Which she did right here on April 12th, 2019. She sent in an email, "Have you given any thought to whether you would want an acting role in this? Say maybe Ryle? I could see it."
Adding to the mix, actor and filmmaker Justin Baldoni, best known for Jane the Virgin, was brought on as the film's director and also cast as Ryle Kincaid, Lily's love interest. Known for his thoughtful approach to storytelling, Justin was expected to handle the adaptation with sensitivity. However, some fans speculated that there may have been creative differences between him, Blake Lively, and Colleen Hoover, especially regarding how the film should tackle the novel's more intense themes.
What she said at Book Bonanza. Now, this doesn't have anything to do with the allegations made against Justin Baldoni, but it's just interesting to see that she made this comment at Book Bonanza, because as a reminder, Book Bonanza happened in the midst of Blake Lively allegedly taking over the film, and Justin Baldoni was not allowed to go to Book Bonanza. Instead, Blake Lively, Brandon Sklenar, and Colleen Hoover went, and Blake, quote-unquote, snuck the movie in to show fans without Sony's approval, because it wasn't done being edited. During the event, Colleen was talking about casting Justin as Ryle and said that he was the one who suggested it, which I almost feel like is just setting up the distance between Justin Baldoni and the rest of the cast from that point, before any allegations were publicly made and before they even appeared separately for PR, when speculations started forming about what happened between the cast. Maybe it was just an innocent comment, but to me, it just seems a little too convenient.
Then came the moment when speculation erupted into full-blown controversy. Colleen Hoover allegedly spoke out. While no official statements confirmed the rumored disputes, tensions seemed to intensify after Colleen made vague but suggestive remarks in interviews and on social media. Some fans interpreted her words as signs of frustration with how the adaptation was being handled. One particular comment that stirred online buzz was, "Some people don't want the truth to come out. They'd rather throw money at a problem than face it." Though she didn't mention anyone by name, many began to suspect the remark was aimed at behind-the-scenes tensions on It Ends With Us.
The writer has come under fire for her initial support of Blake Lively at the start of the public It Ends With Us feud with Justin Baldoni. In her Instagram rant, she discusses financial worries.
At the end of the day today, I'm going to be broke as Thanks, Stephanie. You better be careful because maybe TMZ was right. Maybe I am firing all my employees and retiring. Well, I can't retire now because now I'm going to be in the hole by 5 p.m.
Colleen then makes a statement directly to the public, saying,
"Even if you hate me, you should go buy a piece because It's a very kind of bad thing. At least I have my Pepsi. It's still going to be a great day because you guys get almost free merch. Congrats.
Speculation intensified when reports surfaced claiming that Blake Lively had allegedly pushed for script changes that toned down or altered some of the book's more intense themes. Some believed these changes were made to make the film more commercially appealing, while others suggested it was an effort to better align with Blake's personal brand. However, these claims remain unconfirmed and are based purely on speculation, with no solid evidence to support them.
What's really going on here is the isolation of Blake Lively. As we mentioned before, and as I reported in my newsletter this week, all of her famous friends are radio silent. A lot of people who came out and supported her in the beginning, they were all Team Blake. They have gone quiet. We talked about how Colleen Hoover, the actual author of the book, It Ends With Us, took herself off of Instagram for a while and just came back and removed any reference of Blake.
At Book Bonanza, a fan event celebrating authors and readers, Colleen Hoover directly addressed Justin Baldoni's involvement in the film. She spoke positively about his dedication to the project, saying, "Justin cares deeply about getting this right. He's been so involved, and I trust him to bring Lily's story to life the way it deserves." Her comments appeared to contrast with the circulating rumors of dissatisfaction, leaving fans to wonder if the reported tensions behind the scenes were as serious as they seemed.
Colleen took a break from social media in late January, deactivating her Instagram. While she returned to the platform last month, she appeared to scrub all traces of Lively and Baldoni from her profile, along with any mention of It Ends With Us, which hit theaters in August of 2024.
As rumors continued to swirl, the internet quickly split into sides. Some fans rallied behind Colleen Hoover, insisting that a faithful adaptation should preserve the raw emotional intensity of the book. Others defended Blake Lively, arguing that creative changes are often necessary when translating a story to film. Justin Baldoni's role in the production also became a topic of debate. Some reports suggested he was acting as a mediator between Colleen and Blake, working to strike a balance that would satisfy both the author and the production team. Others speculated that Justin had his own creative vision, which may have clashed with Colleen's original intent.
Justin Baldoni claims Blake Lively never intended to file a lawsuit. So these documents are not new, what I'm about to share with you, but it's an interesting take that I don't think we properly have discussed yet. And that take is that people wonder, well, why would Blake Lively make this public claim? Well, maybe she never intended for it to be public. Maybe the private claim was all she intended to coerce control of the film or whatnot. In the amended lawsuit, Justin Baldoni claimed Lively never intended to file a civil lawsuit, which would have triggered the Wayfair party's right to discovery, including obtaining evidence and deposing Lively under oath. By the time Lively actually filed a lawsuit against the Wayfair parties, the damage to the Wayfair parties was done by virtue of Lively's months of colluding with the New York Times on a false and malicious narrative, unshielded by any privilege. Make no mistake, these actions were deliberate.
The hashtag #StandWithColleen began trending as the controversy gained momentum, while Blake Lively's PR team moved quickly to downplay the situation, calling it a misunderstanding. Notably, no major Hollywood figures publicly came to Blake's defense, which only fueled further speculation and debate among fans.
Justin's lawyer calls the move a, quote, massive fishing expedition. In the midst of this court battle, It Ends With Us author Colleen Hoover has quietly reactivated her Instagram account after 3 weeks, but she deleted all of her posts featuring Justin or Blake.
I take no credit for that.
Action! And after Blake was accused of turning the cast against Justin, yet another newly resurfaced interview is coming back to haunt her.
Because she oversteps her boundaries a bit.
In a 2009 interview with Glamour, the Gossip Girl star says when Penn Badgley was cast as her love interest, quote, I was so upset that they hired him, I actually poisoned the whole cast against him.
Oh, wow.
What?
Blake says it took around a week before she realized he wasn't a jerk.
Then, another twist surfaced. Reports began circulating that Blake Lively was allegedly considering legal action against Justin Baldoni. However, her legal team quickly shut down the rumors, clarifying that she was hired as an independent contractor under Baldoni's production company. Due to this specific employment arrangement, they stated she would not be able to pursue legal action against him for sexual harassment or other workplace-related grievances.
Saying that Blake Lively could not sue Justin Baldoni over SH because she was hired by Justin Baldoni's company as a contractor. For the argument that Blake Lively was hired as a contractor through her company, that will not change the SH claims she has under California law. There are two reasons for this. California law includes independent contractors as people who can make SH claims against an employer, so even if Blake Lively was an independent contractor, she still has the right to make SH claims as if she were an employee. And two, Blake Lively would not technically meet the definition of an independent contractor under California law, even if she were hired under her company, because amongst other things, she did not have control over the time and place of her work, even though it sounded like that a lot if we read Justin Baldoni's lawsuit. Anyways, they say these are rather technical arguments, but the bottom line is that under California's Fair Employment and Housing Act, someone in Lively's position has the right to make SH claims. So now we just have to see if actually the judge will allow Blake Lively to use California law in her lawsuit in New York.
During a press event, Florence Pugh was asked about the situation. Her response was measured but pointed. "I think it's really important to tell stories as they were meant to be told, without watering them down. The rawness of a book is what makes it powerful." Although she didn't mention anyone by name, fans were quick to interpret her comment as a subtle nod to the ongoing debate surrounding It Ends With Us and the rumored creative conflicts behind the scenes.
Celebrity attorney Christopher Melcher exclusively told Fox News Digital Baldoni had a very good reason to make the claim that Lively's actions were intentional. Here's what he had to say. Because it was just a request for the government to investigate and not a lawsuit against Baldoni, he had no right to subpoena witnesses or force Blake or Ryan to sit for a deposition. The suspicion is that she leaked this request for investigation to the media, Doi, of course, with all of these text messages on there so that she could garner public sympathy, but not be exposed to any scrutiny for her allegation.
Given the absence of official statements, it remains unclear how much truth there is to the ongoing speculations. However, fans and media outlets continue to raise questions. Did Blake Lively really try to take control of the narrative, or is this simply an exaggerated controversy? Was Colleen Hoover genuinely unhappy with the adaptation, or are fans misreading her comments? How much influence did Justin Baldoni have in shaping the film's direction? Is this just another case of Hollywood creative differences being blown out of proportion? With so many unanswered questions, one thing is certain. The It Ends With Us adaptation has become one of the most talked about upcoming films.
So, I mean, it's very obvious in hindsight, but what they're saying is before she filed the claim against him, he would have had no ability to, no one would have been able to see this unless she wanted it leaked. Melcher specified the importance of Baldoni, stating Lively never intended to file a civil lawsuit in his amended lawsuit shared online. Ordinarily, if somebody makes a false statement against somebody, it's defamation, and you can get sued. But if the statement is made in a lawsuit or in a contemplation of an immediate suit being filed, it is protected under the litigation privilege. So California Civil Code says statements made by a party in the course of a lawsuit are not defamatory, they're not actionable. You can't sue for defamation, and that's been interpreted to mean, okay, well, literally, if you're filing tomorrow and you're maybe given a press release or demand letter, you can be covered under that umbrella that has to be immediately contemplated. Again, a little complicated here. So this never intended is the code word for him saying that the leaks to the press are not covered by this litigation privilege because they were not made in the context of a lawsuit. And so that's what gives him the right to sue. Otherwise, he would be blocked.
All eyes are now on the next developments as the film remains in production. Will Blake Lively address the rumors? Will Colleen Hoover clarify her position? And how will Justin Baldoni handle the speculation surrounding his role in the adaptation? Only time will tell. But if Hollywood has taught us anything, it's that no story is ever as straightforward as it seems. What do you think? Are these just overblown rumors, or is there more to the story? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more Hollywood deep dives.